Hey everybody, this is Cody Spar from Polypixel, and I'm here to do a video breakdown of our latest and greatest pack, the Suburbs. It's been a while since we've done a pack, and this has been a much requested pack from us, and we haven't done this pack because as we found out, it was difficult. Very difficult. It's a very strange pack to do and pull off, and I feel like we've done a pretty decent job. If you haven't watched one of these videos before, this is usually where I just ramble and try to go under the hood. So that way, if you have any questions, those glamour shots, they might not tell the whole story. So here we dig in and I kind of show you some of the good stuff and then some of the bad stuff and some of the honest stuff that I kind of go like, well, this is okay. But I just try to be as honest as I can and try to be as open as I can. And so hopefully just, listen to me ramble about this pack for a while, and yeah, you'll have a good idea if this pack suits your needs or not. So anyways, as you see, it's a nice, pretty Suburbs pack. I've gone ahead and made a pretty large little world here. Yeah, you could go ahead and make these worlds. The only reason I do certain things like this, large worlds, is just because I want to test out like these are background buildings and these are foreground buildings. I want to double check that these roads work in certain intersections. So I just try to like design myself into a corner, and then I have to build my assets to get out. That way the customers kind of have the same ability as I do. So the scene is not that populated. Like there's no driveways back here or anything like that. But the main focus is this main strip right here. And as you can see, I think it looks pretty good. Right now it's using dynamic lights, so if I grab my sunlight and rotate it, I'll just turn this here. So there's no light mapping here, so this is just what it looks like. Daytime. I guess you could go nighttime and change the intensity down. I'll just leave it to what I had it at, because I liked it. So that's pretty much it. So there's just roads, houses, crops, for the most part. One thing that we've been yelled at before from customers is interiors. And so we have interiors. Now, we don't have much props for them. I think we have some ceiling lights and stuff like that just to keep you... So it's not like the most boring thing in the world, but we have interior doors, exterior doors, a back patio door, and then some ceiling lights. And that's pretty much all you'll get for interiors. If you want an interior pack, there's lots of really good furniture on the Unreal Marketplace. So for us, there's no real need to compete with something like that because there's a lot of it out there, but there's not a lot of suburb stuff. So, so it has interiors, but then again, in the past, we've been yelled at when we do interiors that we have no exteriors, too expensive. So we've actually gone ahead and made exterior only buildings, just like this. So it's not using any of the inside materials and any of the inside polygons. So you can just use these if you don't intend for people to go in. As you can see, I still got a couple bugs in these buildings. Adam right now is fixing them up. Some of the roofs are rotated, if you might notice, like this. So there's like a last couple bugs in this thing, and then we're good to go. So yeah, the houses are pretty high detailed. You've got your gutters, your soffits. I've learned a lot about houses, soffits, the trims and stuff like that. So they're all functional. They're proper. They're nice. They have collision. So nice, proper collision. Collision. Oh, there we go. So they work proper. They work nice. You go inside there. All the walls, everything functions. So, and then these ones will just have exterior collision too. So that's pretty much the houses. We have two little tones, actually, so you can get a variety of looks. So we have like, if I grab this guy, hold on a second, so like throw a siding on there, throw a siding on here, throw a dark trim on that. I could also change this. So there's a few extra materials that you could do to swap things up. But yeah, that's pretty much the houses. the roads are actually pretty cool. A lot of people are disappointed that we didn't do a road pack, and that's because roads are very difficult. And there's no way to like make them fit every single scenario. So what we've done is we've kind of taken the roads from the road pack and made them fit the suburbs pack, and then we're going to be doing an urban city 2 pack next, and we're going to try to fit those and do tunnels. So we're just trying to like utilize the things we made from the road pack for these upcoming packs. So yeah, the roads are pretty cool. Obviously we do them by splines. You can see right here. A lot of people seem to know how to use these splines. They're just right here. They're in the landscape. So you go to manage, edit splines. There you go. There's all your little splines. If you hate the size of these, like I do, just go to the components or control points. Sorry, and go to the widths. And 250. That will actually affect the scale of the meshes if you don't say scale to width. So that's 250. Anyways, that's off topic. Yeah, so our sidewalks are splines. Our little curbs are splines, so you can do a road. I think we have a showcase over here where we don't use curbs. Yeah, like right here off the kind of like a wilderness area. And then the roads use splines. So yes, so very easy to make cool, awesome rampy roads and stuff like that. And we have a couple of road variations. The roads actually have some pretty cool materials where you can age them, put water on them. So that's the roads. We have a lot of foliage. I've made a bit of a ravine back here just to kind of like really test what we could get. Generally speaking, I didn't intend to do this, but what I did was I ended up doing a bit of photogrammetry. As you can see with some of these rocks and these bushes and stuff like that. I just ended up doing some photogrammetry tests, and I just thought, well, let's just throw them in there, because I don't want to waste them. So they're here, they're for sale, but they were never really intended to be part of like a suburbs pack. But yeah, there's enough grass, trees. We got like pine trees, oak trees, and I think a maple tree. There's a maple tree. Yeah, like all our trees and all our assets, we try to make them low poly, low material use, and low resolution, because we're trying to get everything a little bit more optimized. These houses were a bit of a pain to try to do that, so these houses are stretching it a bit. So if you're thinking like, oh, I have to use VR, these, I wouldn't say these are quite VR ready. I mean, it depends, honestly. Like, obviously the asset depends on how you use it. So if you wanted to make a big scene like this, it might not be the best. If you just needed 2 or 3 houses, probably got away with it. But yes, this is made up of a bunch of different draw call materials and stuff like that. So it can be a bit expensive. And this car is sitting through here. Oh, it's because I put it through the road. Okay. Yeah, so these trees are pretty low poly. If I were to grab a tree, around 7,000 for the big ones. And then they all have LEDs, of course. So, and they're made of 2 materials, the trunk and the tree types. And they're done through atlases, I believe. So even the oak tree and the so the oak trees, and they all share the same thing. So even the trees share the same material. Yeah, and then there's some small bushes here and there. There's some grass, some lawn stuff. You can see it's basically painted everywhere. Lawn. I'm probably moving too fast. There you go. Nice lawn. Some weeds, bushes. The one thing that might stand out right now is how strange like these bushes right here look. If I were to, I gotta get back out of this mode. Pull this out and look at it. Like, it's not the greatest looking bush. I'm gonna be honest. This is not gonna win any awards, but the functionality is very nice because it uses triplanar mapping, which it can allow for you to scale to fit your needs any way you wish. So if you need to block things out, so it compensates, or yeah, so what it's just compensating some visuals for functionality. I did some tests on trying to get a bush like this to look really good, and it was about as expensive as these master trees. And then when you want to do like hundreds of them, they were a little excessive. And I saw some other people's examples, and I was like, yep, they do it the same way. It's just very expensive. So you go low, you get blobbiness. It doesn't quite look like a high fidelity like you would get in like a more modern game, but there's a nice functionality there, and it's very optimized where it'll work well with VR and probably even mobile. So there's that. So I have to admit, a bit of an eyesore compared to things we've done before, but there's a niceness, the convenience to the asset, which I really like. And as long as you like don't use them too much and do other things, they're not that noticeable. Yes. So there's other props like this. Obviously, we just got some recycle bins. Oh, cars. Like we're trying to get cars into every project we do. Just one or two. They're pretty ugly. They don't. I mean, they're just low poly. They use one material. I think one material for the car, and then a glass for the headlights. But they're very low poly. If I were to show wireframe, like they are definitely VR ready, optimized. We're ready to go. They're not like those crazy Unreal 100,000 poly car with 150,000. I don't know what they do now, and with 29 materials on them. So not like that. Very easy. Very game ready. I think it's good enough to show here. I could just fly through. Maybe I'm trying to see what I could do with these assets, like make a rocky thing, like a valley. Our terrains use like the height blending, so some rocks will come through. I mean, this is stuff that's very standard now at this point with Unreal. Let's go back here. We have these empty houses. Obviously, I haven't put the garages on here, but you don't see the sightlines from here, but they kind of work when you're doing overhead shots. So, yeah. In the end, I ended up doing a pretty big old world, and it runs pretty smooth. But now I'll go into the asset overview. 1 second. Okay, so here's all the assets, all strewn about. So here's the trees. We have 5 different tree types, ranging in scale and wildness. Scale, wildness, and there's the oaks. There's the maples, and like I said, they're all pretty low poly, so they're pretty convenient. We have some fences. If you saw the wall bundle pack, these are very similar to that. It's just modular, modular, modular. So just big walls, easy to manage. They're one draw call, so it's very convenient and very optimized. Again, same thing. These things rotate, snap, make nice little retaining walls for landscaping. These are for like garden beds and a different variety of garden beds. More fences. Just a white picket fence in here. Another fence. Don't really need to explain that too much. Like those bushes, these garden beds do the same thing. So if I were to pull this out, scale it, you can get these to fit any way you want. You can kind of rotate them. They're all using a triplanar mapping, so it's kind of convenient. You can get some easy looks. Very easy to use. It made making that world very easy. Lots of grass. Played around with a lot of grass types. So there's lawn, a bit of wild grass, some random weeds, some tall grass that pushes over, some ferns, these just regular bushes. I don't know. You see them all in the woods. Those are the shrubs you saw. A bunch of shapes and sizes. Some props, lights. Here's those lights I was talking about for the inside. Here's the house light for the outside. A garden lamp, the 2 cars, photogrammetry rocks, very nice, they look pretty. I tried using tessellation on them, and they work. I have height maps in here, but my frame rate dropped about 30 immediately from using the height map. So, yeah, no tessellation on those, but the height maps are there, so if you do want to get that high quality, you can. The path kind of works the same way. It has that triplanar, so you can scale it. And I'm finding that very convenient when making stuff. I'm trying to do that more because it's so nice. The sidewalk doesn't do that because I need the seams to be right there, but that's for the splines. This was for splines. Again, sidewalk or crosswalk roads. They work really well with the splines. There's a garage door, a little gutter catcher thing. The doors I was talking about. You get the interior, exterior, and back. And the houses. Obviously, the big focal point, the houses. So we have 5 different house types. They're kind of usually a variation off each other. Forget which city we looked at. I think it was Ohio was like the main focus we use for like reference and stuff like that. But yep, they got everyone has a full interior with a full layout. I wonder if there's an easy way to show you guys. Yeah. I mean, without showing you every single layout, trust me when I say there's a layout in every one of them. Looks nice with the dynamic light. So yeah, this is, if I grab my light, this is just, and this is just the asset overview scene. It's pretty good, the dynamic lighting. Yep, and then behind it is the copy of it as just an exterior without the interior. And that's the pack. I mean, I don't know how much more detail I can get. Got a bit rambly at times, but I feel like you should know this pack inside and out, what you're going to get. One thing I did want to note, I got a lot of complaints that are wall pack. Some of the assets weren't tileable, and that's because when it tiles in a spline, it takes the furthest, it does a bounding box around the object and not the pivot. So even though I would say like, oh, here's the end, it would, this, like say this piece of wood extended, it would stop, the next piece would start right there. So there's a bit of a gap. Make sure these are just straight, so there's no gaps. So all these will work perfectly with splines. These fences, this one, this, and this. So yes, if you like it, please buy it. If you don't, be kind. I don't know. This is a pack that I wanted to do for a long time, but it's very complicated because it needs a mix of assets. The roads are very complicated. It's not like these straight angle, narrow, like 90-degree angle roads like in a city. They're very organic. It has to tie in with the landscape, but then you have these houses that are very rigid and angular, and then how do they fit in? How are they versatile? How are they? And then, you know, like I said, we've taken a lot of the constructive feedback from customers and applied it to these and made 2 variations. So probably wouldn't have done something like that before. So generally speaking, I think the time was right to do this pack. I think if we did it before, I think we would have done a disservice to a pack like this. But I don't think there's going to be a Suburbs 2 coming anytime soon because this was difficult to make. There's a reason why there's not many Suburbs packs on the marketplace. It's awkward and difficult, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, constructive criticism is great. Complain all day. It makes packs better. Sometimes it hurts my feelings, but it's okay. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed my ramblings. Thank you.